So often, them island boys, watch out, boom. Right now we under, we rum and we sensey. English harbor, you know we drink plenty. Hustle hard, rich and pocket never empty. Give thanks to blessings, it a shower, it a flow. Well, it's a rum table. Yo, Shaq, pick up yourself on this podcast. You know, you don't know a just stick or represent and you're listening to the Rum Table podcast. So open, you know.
Yazid. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Rum Table podcast. It's your boy Richie Rich, aka Real Big Man Ting.
And it's your boy Shaq, aka Just Shaq. And,
yo.
back.
I appreciate you guys being back with us. And if you're new, I suggest you like and subscribe quick. I suggest you quickly do that.
Just scroll down and hit the like.
You know, whether you're listening or you're watching on YouTube, we'd appreciate that. It goes a long way. And on top of that, you got to get your drinks ready. This is the Rum Table podcast. This is where we have a drink of rum. You don't have to have rum, but it'd be best if you do. And then we can pretty much get into some nice conversation and we can have some fun.
Conversation is the key.
Yeah, that's what we say. You know, every convo is better with rum.
With rum.
That's right. So, you know, we're going to talk, drink some rum, have some fun. And before we get into that, this is episode 9?
9.
Episode 9.
Crazy, because we soon hit the mark.
We are almost there.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, we've been loving the feedback so far. I appreciate every single one of y'all. We really do appreciate it. And we just want to say, like, yo, thank you. Honestly. And we've been enjoying it as well. So before we get into this topic, if you're new, we normally have to do the 1 minute rum facts. And we got Shaq with the facts right now. What are we on today, Shaq? What are we drinking?
All right, boom. So today we got the Baron Samedi.
Yes, sir.
Now, if you know anything about Baron Samedi from like the Caribbean myths or lores or however you want to call it, Baron Samedi is like the shepherd of the dead. Right?
Yes.
Yeah, he lives between the worlds of the living and the dead.
Crazy shit. Because
over to the dead.
Because it's Haitian rum.
It's a Haitian character, I guess.
So it's not a Haitian rum. Where's it from?
Well, this is a Haitian rum. Yes.
Okay,
I'm talking about Baron Samedi himself.
Okay, I'm sorry to cut you off, sir.
Yeah, it's so unique. And
you go on, sir.
Yeah, so anyway, boom. So all right, it's a Haitian rum that we have here today. It's a spiced rum again.
Mm-hmm.
And 45 alcohol percentage, boom, bam. And it's not just a Haitian rum, because I believe this one here is actually bottled in Ontario.
Is it here in Canada? Well, I think a lot of alcoholic beverage ends up getting bottled close to where you are, but they follow the same procedures and stuff.
So like, for example, this one here, it's got some Jamaican pot stilled rum mixed within it. Right, gives it a little depth.
Right, because spiced rum, usually have a mixture of some of the best rums to go with it, right?
Right. Well, spiced rum is a blend of other rums.
That's right,
etc. And I'm kind of feeling on the 1 minute rum facts, but
why you're not feeling?
But the most important part is that this is a Haitian background, which we've never had this. We've never had any rum from Haiti before.
Yeah. So big up all the Haitian, say. Ça passe. Yeah.
And boom.
I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. That was Shaq with the 1 minute rum facts. So we will get into today's topic. As I said, this is episode 9 and we're on about fatherhood today. Shaq and I usually joke around. Our podcast gets a bit, funny but we need to do a serious liquor episode sometimes, once in a while. So we had to get into that.
Cheers.
So cheers to you, sir. Let's get into this with a Samedi rum.
Walk with the Baron boy, close to death, but always alive.
But fatherhood is something we figured we'd talk to because we talk about it because we are both fathers, and I feel like there's stages to fatherhood.
Oh, yeah.
And our previous episode, we were talking about, how man in a men hygiene, they don't have no guidance.
Right.
You understand?
Right.
So we being fathers, we can guide a few people. And even if you're older than us, we can kind of son you, but we can also guide you in a sense.
Yeah.
So it's like, yo, we'd have a conversation about fatherhood and explain how beneficial it is, how we've learned from it, how we're going through it, things they don't tell you, and so on, right?
Especially seeing as that, like you said, there's different stages to fatherhood, and
Right.
yeah,
Yeah,
even
so-
though we haven't hit all the stages.
No,
or
we
nothing like
haven't
that, but-
because we still, our kids are still young, but at the same time, you know, even if you don't have kids, this is an episode that could be decent for you. Even if you're a mother, this is something that you can listen to and learn from, just to see our perspective on it, you know, hear
Right.
what we think about it so far and learn a thing or two, and I'm sure we can learn something from you. So if there's any questions that you guys have, any suggestions, you can reach us at the Rum Table on Instagram, Twitter, and email us as well at therumtable@gmail.com.
Yeah, boom.
But
Um,
Shaq, you had a child first before me, so
Right.
what was your experience like when, let's just start from the beginning, were you trying for kids?
No, I wasn't trying for kids, but
You
it
were
was
practicing?
Also, it was it was also
Because I mean, I think everybody's practicing, but
yeah, it was also a thing, like, if it happens, it happens, because we know we're at a place like you're not fully ready for kids, but you do want kids, and you do believe like you can get ready for kids, or like you can, you know. It just wasn't a thing where we sat down and we were like, okay, we're trying from now, you know.
okay, got you.
Yeah. So that was it for me. What about you?
Same, I would say this. Well, my wife always wanted kids. From the day we met, she was a thing. She was always very good with kids and whatnot. But it wasn't my thing. I wasn't ready. I had goals that I still wanted to, you know, complete
Right.
before I entered that stage. So if it was up to her, we'd have had kids or been parents from a long time ago. But when we were ready, we basically I don't say we were trying, but we weren't preventing it. If that makes sense, right?
That's what I meant.
Yeah, so that's fine. And then I don't think personally that there's a routine you have to follow. I don't think you have to be married. I don't think you have to follow the so-called stigma that the world is telling you in terms of having kids. You don't have to have a house together first and none of that. I don't really think so. I can see your reason, but you don't have to.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? If you're ready, you're ready. You would know whether you're ready. You understand?
Well, I believe the majority of people out there don't have all that shit sorted out before they have kids anyway.
Yeah, especially this day and age with hyperinflation. But we won't get into all of that. So then let's talk about it. What you find out now that your partner is not only pregnant, because people can be pregnant and, you know, unfortunately there's miscarriages and all that stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately. Mm-hmm. Then you pass the stage when you can see things are more like fine. Talk about your experience, because speaking about miscarriages, you had a situation where your child was
Premature, yeah.
What was that like?
So all right, so you know, you go through the whole stage of, oh, things are changing with your woman, and she starts noticing different things and blah blah blah. So you go for a pregnancy test, you find out, okay, yeah, we're pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
And you growing up and you being a man, you know, you're not really thinking of being a father, you're just thinking of being a man.
Mm-hmm.
Going forward, you just want to be a man, right?
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden you got this new situation in your life happening, and it's like, I have to prepare myself a whole different kind of way mentally, where I'm not trying to be a man anymore. Now I'm trying to think, oh, what do I have to do to get this ready? Because 9 months sound long, but maybe you found out 2-3 months in, right? You've already lost time.
Were you in denial in any reason? You know how...
Nah.
No?
Nah, I was instantly just like, oh shit.
When she said she was pregnant?
Yeah. I was happy. Like I was
from the get-go?
Yeah, I was happy to, like, from the start. I was excited, to be honest.
I used to always hear this, before I had my child, right? That, you know, guys are not like thinking about it on a daily basis. It's like me knowing that my woman is pregnant. You just like, you still don't believe it till the child reach.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, and that's how I was.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? Everybody's like, yo, congratulations or whatever. I'm like, yo, you know, The baby not reach yet, you know. It's like it's not real till the baby's here.
Oh well, I could.
Yeah, you didn't feel like that?
I didn't really. I don't know if the way you're saying it. Nah, not the way you're saying it. But
that's
the feeling of it only got real when the baby reached. Yeah, that I could.
okay. That's what I'm basically saying. Yeah, I felt like it wasn't completely real until the baby was here. It's like
facts.
9 months
Facts.
pregnant, and then it's like I'm still in the room. You're having contractions, but then still none of it mattered until the baby was. When the baby was like, wait, no, this is actually happening. This is it. Okay.
Life has now changed. It
has literally now changed. You said something to me before. It's like you're not a father until the actual baby's around. How did you say it?
I said, the moment a child is born, a father is also born.
That was a quote.
Yeah. You're a man,
right?
Up until the point that the baby's born, then you're no longer just a man. You're also a father. So
I'm gonna touch on something really short for a second. Growing up in the Caribbean, you ever heard this saying where it's like, yo, you're not like a real man because you don't have no kids. You're soldiers them not much.
Yeah, Of course I've heard that.
Yeah.
I believe that too though.
You believe that? I never made that peer pressured me into having kids.
Nah, it shouldn't. It shouldn't.
But I just want people to know that that's very common where we come from. It's like you're growing up around your peers. And the guys in there would make fun of like, wait, you don't have no kids?
Yeah.
How do you have no pickney?
Yeah,
you have no pickney at all?
That comes from people wanting to be a step above you. You check a step above everybody else.
How does you having kids is a step above anybody else?
Because life gets different. Like you can go out. All right. Imagine yourself. Imagine if you'd have just continued your life just being a man, no kids. Y'all would have kept on going, get your house, get your investments together, blah, blah, blah. Keep living your life, vacationing, blah, blah, all this and that. But you now being
I wouldn't have
father,
hated it. I'm telling you that right now.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
I know, but I'm saying, you being a father now, you can tell that there's so much more
to life, in a sense.
Life, right? Like you've changed into a point where life is not just about what you want to do anymore. It's now like you're
about
shepherding a new generation type of vibes.
I understand where you're coming from. I'm not gonna go too much into that yet because I feel like there's stages into fatherhood and we started off
which we should go step by step
in terms of the pregnancy and so on. And then I feel like a bit of denial, right? And then baby's delivered. No, you're a father. No, like you said, you're happy. The baby's here. You're overwhelmed. You understand? Talk to me on your vibes on that, especially you
Not the baby's
having
here.
a preemie baby.
All right, so let me just go put it like this,
because you can give a perspective that I can't personally give, right?
Right. So all right, so we go into the whole things start changing already, right? She's pregnant, so now you start looking into shit you never would have cared about before. What about her pregnancy vitamins? Is she
pregnancy? You're right.
You remember
what
those?
They call? Yeah, I remember those.
I don't remember what they call.
It was like maternity pills or something like that.
I don't remember.
I remember those.
It's that. Yeah. And then what about, is she eating the right stuff? Is she taking herself like physically, like is her exercise enough? Because I also believe they gotta keep exercising and stuff.
It's funny you say that, right? Because me growing up, being the oldest out of my family, and it's 5 of us, right? I have 4 siblings. I used to, and me seeing my mom being pregnant with my siblings or whatever, right? I used to be like, yo, I never want to see my woman move when she pregnant.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I'm like, yo, I'm going to just cater to her head to toe.
Right.
She's just going to be laying down at all times. That's the only kind of motion I want to see. Her head down.
Right.
And you know what I mean?
Right,
just
right.
laying down. And then you're like, wait, no, they need exercise. They need to walk around. They need to be a bit active. I mean, they still need to get a lot of rest, but at the same time, they need to also be active. Like, they're not disabled humans.
Right. Like their body can't, you don't want them to just go through all these changes in their body and not keep their body. How you call it? Like you don't want you don't want your veins clogging up on you and shit because you're not moving for 9 months. Type.
I do see your point. I know what you're trying to say. I think the listeners understand where you're coming from.
All right.
Okay, so then you're overwhelmed now. The baby has arrived.
Nah,
Yeah.
nah,
Not yet?
bro.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
So you're going through all this, and now you're changing to the point where you actually care about her checkups. You wanna go to the checkups to make sure that the baby's good. You wanna go through the ultrasounds and shit. Me
Yo.
personally, I wanted to see every ultrasound.
Explain that. Okay, that's before the baby.
That's before the baby.
Okay,
even
sorry
reached.
about that. Well, I'm thinking now because you mentioned going for like the checkups. I don't think that's something that's normalized. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Definitely
The
not.
female listeners listening to this right now, you that were pregnant, was the man going to the doctor visits every time before the baby and after the baby?
That's a good question.
Because I don't think
so.
that was I don't think that's
so.
a common thing.
I think
so
that's left to the
props
woman
to
to
you.
deal with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm assuming you would have done the same thing.
But I didn't get to go to every single one because of work and so on. And I had things that I had to deal with.
Right.
But I definitely tried to make it to every single one. I may have. I don't think I did.
I don't think I did either.
But I know I tried to make at least for the important ones. I'm not gonna miss it.
Yeah, right. Well, the important ones, I made it my business to take her anyway.
Got you.
Like for
Right.
ultrasounds and shit.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so now you're getting closer to the stage. Now you get to those stages where it's like 6 months in or 5 months in. Majority of the time has passed, so to speak. Like time's running out. Baby's coming soon.
Yeah.
You start getting things together. Start getting the rooms ready. All that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We had a baby shower. I don't know if everybody does have a baby shower.
I want to say that baby showers is a must.
Yeah,
Baby showers is a must.
beneficial.
Whether you're married or not, baby showers is a must. It's a big help. I recommend everybody does. I know a lot of people frown upon certain things like that. They don't want to ask for help and so on. It's recommended.
You need the help, and you need the help.
I think people
need the
underestimate how much help they need.
You need the help. I don't
Yeah.
care how much money you make.
Yeah.
You don't. There's gonna be so many things going on and so much stuff you're gonna
Honestly,
miss.
take
and
our
you need the
advice.
help.
Yeah, take our advice. Definitely, it's something that you should look into for sure.
Yeah. So, you're going through all these stuff, and then, all right, I'll tell you our situation. For those who don't know me personally or what we went through, one day around 6 months, just randomly, my woman's water broke. 6 months in,
Jeez.
so we're panicking. No idea what the fuck's going on.
How did you feel as a man? And that's your woman.
Helpless, yo. I couldn't do shit.
Yeah.
What could I do? All we could do is drive to the hospital, which we did. So we went to the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, we called first to see what we should do
Mm-hmm.
or what that was, and then they told us to go to the hospital. We went to the hospital. They did their checkups and thing.
Were you worried like it was a miscarriage or something?
I started getting worried, yeah, because us looking it up, Google everything on Google tells you you're gonna die, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's
Yeah, that's especially like WebMD.
yeah.
God damn it.
Yeah. Oh, my knee hurts. Yeah, you're dead. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You better write your will now.
Right.
So I started getting worried, like, what are we gonna do? Blah blah blah. We stayed at the hospital for a week, and then she started having serious contractions. So she was in the hospital. They kept her in there for a week. So that was me going to work, coming to see her, going to work, coming to see her. And now she's having a contraction, crazy contractions. So the doctor said, no, we have to deliver right now. They tell you get ready for this, but you can never get ready for this. You check?
What is that like for you as a man?
Panic.
Seeing your woman going through that, because you're
Panic.
you're panicking.
I'm panicking on two fronts. I'm super worried that my baby is not gonna make it. If she makes it, she doesn't make it. How safe that is.
Yeah.
And I'm super worried that my woman, like, what happens to my woman? Is she gonna be all right? Is
That's
she gonna
true.
make it?
Of course. Yeah. You don't know what to expect.
Right.
Yeah.
So it was panic. I remember calling my moms, and that was in the middle of the night, like 11 o'clock, almost 12 o'clock. They do all this procedure, all this process, blah blah blah, and they have to cut her open, C-section.
Jeez.
She's awake for the whole thing.
Did you watch that?
Yeah, I wasn't there. I was like by her head, and they had a curtain kind of thing.
Okay, got you.
Like just two stuff
'cause
just
I
holding up.
couldn't watch that.
Just two stuff holding up the nightgown. But there was a TV on the top, and I could have still seen through the reflection what's going on, right? So I saw, but not really. And I'm just there. I'm trying to be supportive. But what she's going through, I'm thinking in my head, oh, fuck, if that was me, I'd have been passed out. I don't even know how you're awake right now, to be honest.
Oh, my gosh.
The amount of pain you look like you're going through.
Respect to these women, man.
Trust me. They have to go through some shit.
Respect to you guys, honestly.
And then baby was born. And they told us the baby's out.
Mm-hmm.
And then they just took her off to another room quick, like ran off.
Yeah.
So now I'm also like, oh shit, what's happening? Because it didn't, normally they come and they'll be like, oh,
Yeah.
We didn't get none of that. She was too small.
That's 3 months early.
3 months early. She's like the size of your hand, So it was just it was a messed up experience. In total, my woman, she's a champion. I definitely am proud of her.
Props to you, man. Props to her,
sure.
yeah. And all the women that goes through these kind of things.
Yeah.
Honestly, you guys are troopers, warriors. Honestly.
Yeah. And then we could get into that.
Yeah.
The aftermath after, I guess.
Yeah, no, we could get into it. Because I'm wondering, these kind of things could lead to the negative side of it. Like, what if it was a miscarriage?
Yeah. Okay, we could get into that.
You can't?
Yeah, I mean, if it was a miscarriage, how does that not depress a woman? How does that not put like pressure on a woman? Like, what did I do?
Of course. I mean, but then since we're mostly talking on fatherhood, because we can't give a woman's perspective. Right. Have you experienced that?
A miscarriage?
Yeah.
We're not sure.
You're not sure?
Not sure.
Fair enough.
There was a time where we felt like she was pregnant, and then all of a sudden she just wasn't. And she's always had this. She had this weird situation where her test would never come out positive.
How were you feeling as a man? It wasn't bothering you as much.
Nah, it was more like we don't know.
Yeah. So it's like, well, you don't know, you don't care about kind of thing.
Not that I didn't care about, but I didn't want to know too.
I see your point. I could see that. I can't speak on it because I've never experienced it. But I was also moving. I used to move a kind of way. It was like, yo, I'm on a grind. I'm on this goal hunt. I'm on a mission. Yeah. And it's like, babies are gonna slow me down. I can't stop.
Right.
And it's funny enough now because I was like, I hated condoms. I'm a beer box specialist.
Say father specialist.
I'm a beer box specialist. I was convinced that my soldiers did not match because beer box, that to me. That was my thing. But at the same time, I knew I was on a mission. You understand? But anyways, in regarding it was weird. It's
so how does that work?
How
does that work?
I'm drinking rum. Dog. Like that's all it was. It was the fact that I make these irrational decisions drinking rum, but it's like, yo, when it comes to bus time, it's like it's not happening.
Okay,
because it's like, yo, I'm mission.
Right.
But I want to get into when I knew I was ready. I knew who it had to be with and why. And it's like, okay, fine. You go through the pregnancy stage, and then we go into the fact that I'm overwhelmed now. The baby's here. Baby's been delivered. Your life changes overnight. I remember taking the baby home, and my wife's family is here. We even did a whole home video on it because my wife's family was waiting for us because of the pandemic and so on. It was a very nice reception.
Well, how was that? Before you even continue, how was that having a baby during COVID where nobody can come
having
and visit?
A baby during COVID, nobody can. It was actually a very nice experience because it was very intimate. You understand? It was just me and her. You understand? And me being by your side, which I've always been. I'm going to always ride for you. Everybody knows if it's one thing with me, I'm very loyal. So you can reach me anytime because that's me. I'm available. No, me being just available to my wife only at that time, I think we appreciated that. However, during the delivery time, I had my mother who was here visiting at the time. She was at the house, and so was my wife's mother, which is great. Our parents are together, and we're FaceTiming them while the whole.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Oh, I didn't even know that. Okay.
Yeah, so that was a decent experience. You know, our parents are together. We have them both on camera, and we're going through the whole thing. And they were there for the whole thing.
Okay.
You understand? But we were there alone. You understand? We spent the night alone. We had our own room, and it was a nice vibe. And my wife was just knocked out, and I was just sleeping when my son was with me the whole night. And it was a decent experience.
Right.
And that was my first. I want people to know this. I never liked kids. Period. I'm gonna make this known. I don't even like kids right now. I don't business. I don't like kids. Personally, that's not. I don't. It's never been my thing. I never pretend to. If your kid is polite and nice, then that's different. But for me to I don't pretend. If you see me not playing with your kids, it's because I don't like them. I'm sorry. And that's not. I don't care how people feel about certain like that. Because what? You think I'm supposed to like your kid because you say your kid is cute?
Yeah.
No, that's unrealistic. First of all, your kid is rude as shit. And sometimes that's a reflection of your parents.
True.
Of how they make them act and so on. I don't like that. So you know what I mean? But with that being said, yes, I was very overwhelmed. My life changed overnight. You know, I had a child who for the first few nights, which I think was common because our, what you call them? Midwife. Yeah, our midwife was telling us, the baby will cry, and so on and so on. And that only happened for the first few nights. And then Mazzy was just great afterwards. And he personally makes me happy to be a father because he's just so easy to deal with. So I was
okay.
You understand?
So you needed that. You needed an easy child first.
I think so. I'm going to tell you something. It scares me from now having more kids. And I tell that to my wife all the time.
I'm don't want a difficult kid next.
I don't want it to change. If it's not going to be like him, I don't want it.
I'm telling you right now, it's going to be opposite.
Then you see, this is why I don't want to have kids no more. This is real shit.
And done.
But that is, and I was saying to her, back to back, because we wanted 2 kids. We wanted a boy, we wanted a girl. We actually wanted a girl first, but that's the second stage. Being overwhelmed. It's just you pretty much you're starting to get it. You understand the transition.
The challenges that come with it.
Yeah. What was that like for you? What was the overwhelming part? After the child's home and she's actually growing into her skin and she's there getting into her body and you realize, she's becoming a normal kid. She is normal. She's not preemie is not what they make it seem to be.
Right. When did I start to feel like she wasn't preemie? Probably closer to 1.
Mm-hmm. Closer to a year old.
Closer to a year old, because remember she's behind the 3 months for the whole time.
Yeah.
But closer to 3 years old, I start seeing her. I mean, not 3 years old. Closer to 1 year old, I'm seeing her.
That's the rum talking.
That's the rum talking. Walking around, not walking around.
Every convo better.
Oh my god, my brain is tripping.
Go ahead.
Closer to 1 year old, I'm seeing her starting to crawl around, and her personality just be changing week to week.
That's something, it's priceless. You can't put a price on that. Seeing your kids develop from they can't do anything on their own to crawling, to walking, to running, to jumping.
Even
to
just the way they learn how to communicate with you because they want to interact or they want something.
It's a different feeling, brother. I'm just going to tell y'all, no. When a child calls you daddy or dada, that's it. Drop mic. Just drop the mic. Bad drop. That's it.
No, real stuff.
It's a different feeling. And I feel like that's what those guys or people in our community and culture tell us. We're like, I'm not kids yet. It's different. Or older folks, when they tell you, it's a different feeling when you have kids. Because, it's funny. I used to always question people when they used to have pictures of their kids
in their wallet and thing on their phone
or
and
even
shit.
On their phone.
Right.
I'm like, you're fucking married.
Yeah,
what is wrong with you?
What's your problem?
You're fucking married for 20 years. That's something to idolize. You just had a kid last week and the kid takes over your profile?
No, real shit.
I did not understand it. So I used to question people. I'm like, yo, I don't see your husband anywhere.
Right.
All I see is your kids.
Right.
And then it's like, yo, it's a different kind of love that you have for your kids.
Well, okay. So now
No,
we can
I'm
really
guilty of
get
that
into
shit.
fatherhood.
All right. We took a while.
We took a because you got to give the backstory a little bit,
All
but
right.
now we can really get into fatherhood and what that's like.
The
in
shocking
terms of-
stage, though. What about when you're like, you're actually doing it? Like right now, I'm pretty sure you go through the liquor stage of the denial, okay? And then bam, baby's here. You're overwhelmed, bam. And then now it's like, wait, this is normal. This is just a routine now.
Right. That's your life just becomes that.
Your life just
you don't have a
becomes
choice. Yeah. It's like if you go to war.
Yeah. It's
and
almost like
you lose a leg.
Yeah.
Like at some point, that's what it is now. You just don't have a leg. You know what I mean? You just gotta live. You just gotta walk.
It's just acceptance now.
You just adapt. That's the human body for you. We
Right.
just adapt to shit.
And I think that's what scares most people is like, you don't think that it's going to become normal. You don't think that, you think it's going to change everything that you've been doing, which I did. I was scared about
Which
that.
it does. It does though.
It really does. But
you don't.
can
It doesn't
adapt.
affect you the way you feel.
Yeah, you
like
can
it would.
adapt to it.
Because like, all right, you go from having no kid to all of a sudden you have this being, right? And you know that you have to provide for this being, you have to protect this being. And it goes from you just wanting to do what you want to do to now you have to do only this. It sounds messed up the way I just said it, but it's like an instinctual thing. Like, I have to be this guy. I have to be a better version of me because
Just
I
for this.
need this person here to have the best possible option.
This person is following your every move, your every step.
They see everything. They don't learn from what you tell them. They only learn from what you
They're
do.
watching your moves. Yo, honestly, we need to shed some light on the fatherhood because, a lot of fathers we know are not around. You understand? And yes, we're not in the teenage stage or anything like that, but we're trying to be. If it's one thing I think personally about me is that I may not be the best dancer in the world, you know what I mean? I may not be the best basketball player. I mean, I used to be. But you get my point? But if it's one thing I know is I'm a great fucking father. I try my best to be the best, and I'm not going to be like what my father was with me.
Right.
You're definitely trying to be better.
Right.
You understand?
Which, as you should.
Yeah, so I'm trying to guide them. I'm trying to do things. I have a college fund for my child already who hasn't, my child just hit a year, but I did that from before.
Right,
it's
right.
like things like that where it never happened to me. My parents didn't pay for me to go to school.
Right.
I had to do that on my own.
Right.
It's like, and it's, I'm not saying that my parents didn't want to, but it's also such a different feeling when it's like your offspring that I can't explain. I know that I get it as a father. It's like, yo, it's a different kind of love when you have your own child. Right. Honestly, sometimes it bothers me because it's like, yo, man, sometimes I'm like, I can see why kids break up families.
How so?
Yeah, it's like because it's such a different love from your partner. It's like sometimes I wish it's like, can you have that kind of love for your partner the way how you love your kid?
Never. It's different types of love.
I know that, but that's brother. It's like a out to this world love you have for your child.
It's a different.
It's
kind
like,
of
yo,
love.
you came from my balls. You check. You're part of me more than anything ever.
You think it's that? I think it's more like you have like a universal.
That is what I'm saying, though.
No, I'm saying like you have like a universal responsibility now. It's not like you choose. It's not like you choose to want to take care of this kid like that. It's that you have no choice.
You have like a choice.
Nah, for me it's like a DNA. It's like from your DNA. Like yes, I choose who I love.
Yeah,
I choose which partner I want to be with. But when it's now my kid, my child, I don't have a choice. I have to do everything possible to make sure that I'm taking care of this child and letting this child be able to grow the way they're supposed to grow.
Whatever
that means.
I want the people of them to get this now, because it's like your child is it's a reflection of you.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? You see them, you see you, and you're like, I have to guide you, because your partner, you know, you don't share no blood relation.
Right.
You understand? And I feel like that's one of the, correct me if I'm wrong, you know, I always wondered if that's the reason why there's like deadbeat dads, in a sense, where it's like they don't care. No, that can't be. No, I'm sorry. It wasn't gonna go what I'm saying.
The deadbeat fatherhood thing, that's just a crazy thing to me, regardless. That's just like you have animals that the fathers will always come and take care of the kids.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the animals, like penguins and shit, the mothers will go off and find food and come back, and the fathers stay with the kids.
Yep.
Then you have the other fathers that would just breed and move on, you know.
Yeah, I just wonder. I wonder why. I always wondered why that my Oma didn't care about it. Like I always just, it confuses me, because especially if you grow up, right? Let's just say you have a kid. Most people can relate to this. As a mother, as a father, you can relate to it. Somebody be like, yo, your son looks more like him. Oh, you know, your son looks like more of you. Your dad looks like more. You understand? And you knowing that at some point somebody's gonna tell you that, yo, your child looks like you, and then you just abandon them. I don't get that.
Think.
What kind of man is that?
I don't know what to think about that in terms of how it's possible. Because to me, it's impossible for me to do that. You check? And also, I'm no matter how miserable or upset my father was, he was still always there. You know what I mean?
I rate that.
So I don't know if, like, me personally, I couldn't. How could I do that? How could I just leave my woman behind and with my child and never think back? Like, how? I don't know. Maybe the fact that the dude is not getting along with the mother so much just is so much more stressful to him that he rather just abandon the situation for the sake of, like, self-preservation, I guess. Maybe, but anyway, let's get off that topic.
No, but
let's go on.
I wanna say something. I wanna chime in on that, because I've heard this saying where I know I reference my old man as a dad sometimes, mostly father. But anyway, I've heard that there's a difference between a father and a dad. You ever heard that?
Word?
Yeah, it's like where they basically say like a father is just somebody who you share DNA with.
Okay, yeah, just happens.
Yeah, and a
DNA.
dad is like, yo, when you can call a man daddy,
right?
It's like, yo, you have some serious respect for them.
Okay, so it's like the stepdad versus the father then.
Yeah, of course.
So your stepdad, who's taking care of you and cares about you,
right, versus
stepped in afterwards.
Yeah,
you can love that person
because
that person, they really took care of you and cared.
Yeah,
so that's a dad.
Right.
And the father just happened to breed your mother and
move on. Just biologically related, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just things like that where you can, I don't think everybody, you can hear the difference sometimes, and not everybody relates to it as there's a difference, but you can hear it to it when somebody says, yo, yeah, man, that's my father, that's my old man. And when somebody can be like, yeah, that's my dad, like where they mean it like that's person, like we share relation.
Like
yeah,
I never thought about it like that.
You know, so I just figured I would have chimed in on it, you know.
Well, all right. So how about we talk about the changes that happen to you when you become a father in terms of the mental changes, not just that you want to do,
like provide,
not just that, but what about like I don't know, your child is now born, and all right, I'm gonna talk from my perspective.
Go ahead.
Like from my experience. I never would have cared about shit, like poop. I would have never cared about shit and its consistency and color and thing before.
Yeah,
my child. If you get diarrhea, you get diarrhea. You name something outside, and it fuck you up.
The things you need to care about right now as a father. But that's the thing. You're a leader now. You understand? That's what it becomes. Coming from a person that I try to, I do have my hands in a few businesses or whatever. You have to be a leader. You have to appoint. You have to be thinking about the offense and the defense.
Right, the whole picture.
Right. So then, at the same time, yes, it changes you as a person. I would personally think it's for the better. I feel better as a father.
Oh yeah.
Right?
100%. I feel more directed.
Yeah.
I have a goal now.
We were made to reproduce.
Yeah, that's our whole. I
whole
say this all the time.
right?
Our whole purpose is just to reproduce. All this work and I want to do this, I want to be a millionaire. None of that means shit.
We're supposed to be living in cardboard, just rubbing together, rub and tug. You see me?
The only reason we eat is to stay alive, to reproduce.
What is that?
Everything is just about reproduction.
We've already said it on a previous episode. Man can live in cardboard box if you allow them. Just all they need is a woman and a reproduction. Yeah,
Real shit.
I agree.
That's our whole purpose. That's our woman's whole purpose. As human beings, we just exist to continue the population.
Yeah, man. For sure.
So, you know what I mean? Now, all of a sudden, you care about your line. Now you care about your line. Now my daughter at 3:00 in the morning had some kind of diarrhea and is crying about it, and now I care. Now I'm looking it up on Google. What does this mean?
Yeah.
Instead of sleeping to go to work.
Yeah, that's a part of fatherhood that people are not gonna talk about.
But but the thing is, like, it happens. And you being a new father, your mind has already reshifted its purpose. It's already reprogrammed. You're not gonna be pissed off, like if 3:00 in the morning your baby's crying, and you wake up from it and you're up. You're not gonna care. It's not gonna be like somebody drove their car outside and they have no exhaust and it wakes you up.
Yo, but that depends what kind of father you are, because one of the stages, right after pregnancy. Remember I told you, father, my son comes home. Midwife says he has to cry, whatever, for a few days. First thing I'm thinking was, well, luckily for me, I decided I was going to take a few months off.
Right.
So I was going to be there to experience that. I wanted to experience that new life change or whatever, right? And all I know is that I'm like, but you don't sleep for real. I see what they're talking about. You're now sleepy, dad. It's like, what is happening? But that was just for the beginning stage. But like I said, Mazzy was easy.
Right.
And you're like, yo, he's not so bad. You can put him into a routine, when it's going to come, blah, blah, blah. But I think that's just a part of it.
That is a part of it, but there's going to be people that before they become a father, they would expect, that's going to be waking up at 3:00 in the morning? Nah, I got work.
Yeah, they're not going to do it. They have work. Right.
But you don't realize until you become a father that, they're waking up at 3:00 in the morning. Fuck work. I don't care about work at that point. Yeah. I'm just thinking, what is it? What's happening? You know what I mean?
I understand that, but people have to get a living somehow, right? Yeah. At the same time, you can have a woman who's like, you work all the time. You work all the time, Shaq. You need to be home with us. Like, look, she's not sleeping properly. Whatever. My son this week was actually sick.
Right.
And I actually wasn't home this week.
Right.
You understand? Right. But at the same time, I have a wife who's home and she's taking care of him or whatever. And if it's serious, I can be like, I'll be there in a minute. You understand? But then there's levels to it. There's not everybody can withstand that.
Right. Do that type of thing either.
Yeah.
Financially, you got certain responsibilities.
Right. So then it's about that, and be like, you know what? No, then I'll take a week off. Make sure you're good. Let's go to the doctor. Let's double check.
Right.
Also, growing up, like I told you before, growing up in my household, we never went to the doctor. You understand? We never did. Vicks fixed everything.
Everything fixed with Vicks and gin.
Excuse me, Vicks rub down. Yo, where I say you have a cancer, Vicks. You have a headache, paracetamol and Vicks. It's just...
Wait, there's no way you broke your hand and put Vicks on it yet.
Excuse me? It costs expensive. Let me put on Vicks.
Jesus Christ.
Then, honestly, it took me a while to be a parent I would not change that for the world. I thank my wife for that. And at the same time, it's just that you get there when you're ready. Don't let nobody rush you into that.
Right.
You understand?
Because
but it is a different.
It's big. It's a big life shift. And
it is a big
responsibility.
life shift. Nobody can never stress how different that is. It's a different type of love, you know.
And lifestyle. Like, you think you were going out to parties before COVID? You think COVID stopped you from going to parties?
Yo, can I chime in on that?
Go through.
So, because we had Mazzy in the pandemic, you couldn't travel, right? Then there was a COVID restrictions. Then it was you needing to be vaccinated to go certain places. Finally, you could travel. And my wife and I love traveling. So we're like, you know what? Let's try to do something that wasn't too far. Us living in Toronto, we're like, all right, let's go to New York.
Right.
It's only an hour and something flight. And I get Mazzy used to being on a plane and whatnot.
Right.
And man, it's a different vibe when you travel with a kid. You can't go. Me and her used to going to these clubs and these bars.
Cut all of that out.
That's gone. You can't do none of that no more.
Yeah.
So that's one thing about parenthood that a lot of people are like refraining from. It's like, yo, yeah, but I can't go out. I can't go dirty wine. I mean, luckily for me, my mother-in-law lives close by and we can drop Mazzy off if you wanted to. But at the same time, I don't want to because I want to spend time with him.
Right.
But you can't.
That's what I was trying to say at the start of all this, is that it changes you. It wires your brain different. Like, yes, in the moment, it's gonna be kind of annoying. It's gonna be a little,
True.
I mean, it's gonna be more hassle that you have to now deal with XYZ with your kid, or no, I have to avoid this place because I'm with my kid.
Right.
Or blah, blah, blah. But then once the trip was over, how did you feel? Did you feel like you missed out on some shit?
No, to be honest, I was content the whole time. I was happy that I was there with my family.
Right.
I have a bunch of friends in New York. I didn't even see none because it was like, you know what? It's COVID. I'm with my family, and also while they were there, my wife and Mazzy got a little bit sick. Well, mostly my wife did. So, but I still enjoyed it because it's still your peace. That's my peace right there. That's my people.
That's your home.
That's my exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's my oasis. I felt good, and then it's a different experience from, especially, you know, this whole baby daddy, baby mommy talk. I understand. I have listeners who go through that, but it's also a different feeling. I know y'all feel it when you have your baby daddy come through and they have a good relationship with their kid. Right. I know they feel good too when they're stepping up as a father.
Right.
I understand. So, you know what? I don't frown upon none of that kind of stuff.
Even though they're not together.
No. As long as you're there for the kid, that's all that matters. That goes a long way. The kid's gonna need that. In the end. I mean, we've had the conversation before about men and personal hygiene. That's important. You need a father figure around for that. So, yeah.
Not only that, like, as a man growing up with just a female as the matriarch, just only a matriarch, there's certain things, characteristics of a man that they're gonna just miss being around them all the time, right?
Yo,
even no matter, and those women do really fucking great jobs raising kids.
Oh, they do.
But there's still stuff that they can't
bring
to the table.
I'm telling you, yo, you played sports too. Me growing up playing baseball, playing basketball, I couldn't do that with my own man. You understand? So you had to go on the roads. Imagine if you had a parent like Kobe and them mans and Michael Jordan. People don't talk about the fact that their parents were around to be like,
right.
You know, your old man was there to be like, keep throwing up, keep shooting, keep doing that.
Right.
You understand? And that goes a long way.
It does. I remember, for me personally, around 19, 20, 21 or whatever, my father was actually there always with the football. And that's the
with
sport
the team.
I played. With the team. And eventually he got to the point where he became the coach.
Nice. Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So it was actually hype just knowing that.
You didn't feel embarrassed or anything?
Nah, I mean,
Like,
obviously,
you could messed up.
obviously, there was times that the kids them would try and roast man off of that, you know. Oh, you're only on the team because you're the coach. you know?
Yeah.
Even though we went on the team before,
Right.
But still, you know what I mean. It was still kind of hype to watch. Like, it brought that place of like, yo, I could kind of be awe-inspired by this guy a little bit.
Yeah.
Just knowing that he could actually control a unruly bunch of kids in sports and watch the way that he goes about it. You know what I mean?
I like that.
So now I kind of have an idea of how I would go about it in a situation when I'm that dude.
Right. And that's the thing that I'm trying to chime in on when it comes to this topic is like a fatherhood gives you an example in terms of how to behave or how not to behave.
Right.
You know, and your father could do that.
Right. What's possible, what's not possible.
Right.
Or,
you know? I do get jealous sometimes about the fathers who've been around. Like I've mentioned it many times. If it's one thing I love about my wife's is her old man was there. If it's one thing, he was around. And I see how he is when it comes to his kids. And it's like, yo, I rate that.
Right.
A man who's like, yo, you know, my wife who has a younger sister and needs the most like attention, the man would check in every night. I'm like, yo, that's a man right there.
Right.
That's certain thing. Well, that's a father, most importantly. You know?
Right. And you can look at that and be like,
You
I
can
can
learn something from
aspire
that.
to be around the kind of way that he is around, or
Exactly.
even more, right?
Yeah.
Because obviously they're not together or whatever, but at least you can look at that and be like, I can build off of that foundation kind of vibes.
Exactly. Yo, so if you guys made it to the end, I hope you can learn a few things from this. Is that you don't have to run from being a parent. When the time comes, and I'm sure you'll appreciate it. Don't rush into nothing. You know, peer pressure is a thing, but it's a really good feeling. I can speak for that myself. I took a long time before I'm gonna get involved in that.
And not only that, before you even started working, right? Before you even started working, you would have worked it up in your head a kind of way. And then when you started working, you adapted to the work. And now, look at you. You're out here working and stunting on
You're a
people. And, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It happens. And once you become a parent, the same thing happens. You adapt. You adapt, you grow, you learn, you start looking for information to help you deal with the situations you're going to be dealing with. And you grow, you become a beast.
Yeah, and I'm sure you have people around you that will help you.
Oh, you need that too,
Yeah.
by the way. Not just fatherhood, like that's parenthood.
Yeah, facts.
You need that shit.
But if you're not a parent and you're not a father yet, don't worry, man. Don't stress it in time. And with that being said, you know, this was another episode.
Diapers are expensive as shit.
Shit. Rum Table Podcast. You already know it's your boy, Richie Rich, real big man thing. As always,
It's Shaq, at Shaq_just Shaq.
this was Baron Samedi. Some say Samedi.
Baron Samedi.
Yeah. Thank you. Rum was delicious. I hope you guys had your drink too. If you made it to the end, I fucking love y'all as always. If you made it to the end, just bam 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 bam. #rum.
Also, Instagram for the Rum Table is at the Rum Table. And any questions or suggestions, you can hit us up at therumtable@gmail.com.
That's right. You guys take care, and we'll see you next week. Boom.
Well, it's a rum table. Yo, Shaq, pick up yourself on this podcast. You know, you don't know a Just Sticker represented. You're listening to the Rum Table Podcast. So, you know.